Hello and welcome to this video. Today I'm going to be doing a stock analysis on Intuitive Machines. Now the reason I'm doing this today, as you might see over here on the screen, is we had a 30% increase in the market today. And now you might wonder why that is. As you can probably see right down here, we have this unfortunately worse than estimated earnings. Now that is because they reported a 79% year-over-year revenue increase, which is insanely high. And as you can see, recently we also just had this huge drop off. Now you might wonder why it halved in price. That's because Intuitive Machines is picked by NASA to be part of the Artemis space program. That is the space program with the goal of putting humans back on the moon. And they are being chosen as specifically to deliver stuff on the moon with NASA and also develop communication systems around the moon and other payload on the moon for private companies, not just governments. So they are primarily space and moon based, a lot of moon stuff. That is also why its ticker code is lunar. Now, as you can see, after it came out that it failed, well, it didn't fail. It was because a module that was sent to the moon tipped over, which meant whatever that was sent to it was no longer useful because it was on the side, and I believe it broke. But that is speculating, so that is just my own personal theory, and that's why you can see here we had it at $13, and then it tanked all the way down here. And then now recently we did see, despite the poor earnings, it is still quite incredible to see that they are making 79% year-over-year revenue increase. That is insanely high. Now, if we take a look at the graph over a long period of time, you can see that ever since late in 23, it has actually had quite a nice run. We do see some peaks and some valleys. As you can see, it peaked right in the early of 24, and then it slowly went down again. Even though it had a positive earnings with 150% above what was estimated, it still went. It actually went a bit up. It traded from $5 all the way up to about 7, and then again slowly sailed downwards all the way until we had this earnings report here where it was up 235%. This triggered a golden cross, as you can see right here, and ever since then it just rallied, also because this was when there was more information regarding the Artemis program, and then it gained all the way up here. Then I don't know what exactly happened as to why it traded downwards from the peak up here in $24, as the crash I was talking about on the moon only happened here. So that is, I just simply think people thought it was a bit overvalued, because it is not that big of a company. I'm going to show you that in the earnings later, and it's quite a new company as well. So I think people just was like, we got to get out, and I think maybe it had something to do with European investors want to get out of America. I'm not too sure about that, but that might be one of the reasons. Now the point we do see here is it actually is sitting on a current support level, as you can see here from earlier. Right before it jumped back up, it hit a support level, and now it is almost touching a new support level up here. Now, if it goes through this support level here at around, let me just move it and make sure it's correctly, at about 9.8, the next proper support or resistance level is actually up here. As you can see, it is right up here, the next proper, and this is not even this actually isn't even a proper one. There is really no proper support level above this at all. The only reason for this is it is a bit above that, but then again the line would be askew, so it's not really that great. So no, what I actually won't even say that's a proper line because I just can't make it fit. But otherwise than that, there is no current support lines. I do think this company is quite interesting given their place within the work they do with NASA, which is quite nice. So I do like this company a lot, and I personally have thought about buying it. I'm not gonna do it now because I never buy it after a day where news like this dropped, because chances are someone who got in here wants to take profit, because most of the time it's trading below this. So the amount of people who bought in here, chances are is higher than the people who bought in up here. So maybe some people are trying to catch a quick profit tomorrow or later this week. So I'll at least wait. Also because their next earning is in 45 days, and I don't mind waiting that much long. As you can see, it's also a very small company at only $1.38 billion, so it's very, very small. Now, as you can see, its earnings, sometimes they lose big time. As you can see here, they were minus by 4,000% below. Here they were up 235%, so they get completely irregular. And then it was 6,000% below. And then, as you can see here, we had today actually 1% up. Not below, I mean. So quite interesting. And of course, they don't pay dividends because they don't really make enough money where that would make sense. But as you can see here, annually, some years, this in 2020, revenue of 44 million, then no revenue at all, then 85 million, and then 79 million. And then quarterly, as you can see, some quarters they make a lot, and that is of course because if they make investments or build new machines, that cost quite a lot of money, particularly in this quarter. And this quarter, I anticipate that is because these are the quarters where they made investments for whatever module they were building to send onto the moon. So yeah, now if you look at some of the seasonals on this, as you can see from 21 where this was publicly launched, we haven't had any good years besides from 24. The year it launched, it was at minus 0.10%, doesn't really matter. Then in 22, somehow, out of all years, it was in a profit, which is a year that most stocks took quite a dive. And then in 23 and 25, it was minus 79%, and this year minus 52%. But then, of course, we have last year, 669% above, which was quite insane. I might think this was the one that gained the most on Nasdaq last year, but I'm not too sure about that. But it is insanely. So if you got in early last year or just in the middle of last year, you made a nice amount of money. So that is quite nice. Now the technicals on this for the day is a strong sell simply because of the way it has been behaving. For the month, it is a sell, so it's getting a bit better. But you might think, how is it a strong sell after such a good day? And that is simply because all of the oscillators and the moving averages for the time being simply hasn't had time to react, move with it, because one good day isn't enough to trigger a moving average. So yeah, for the day we do have exponential, which is something that happens often when there is high volatility. But yeah, we do need a bit more down here. The larger the number, the more days it is looking at. And then for the month here, we do see a bit more neutral ones or no rating at all, and then some buy ones. So yeah, a bit more interesting on the month. I think I'm going to see and wait how this reacts, because if it actually trades sideways a bit or even tanks a bit below down to this support level, I might actually buy up in it personally. Now, the 1 year price target is, I think, very reasonable. It is at $15, which is 68% up. And as you can see, we don't have that many analysts trading on it, as of course it is a small company and it is highly, highly speculative. You can also see that down here in the EPS. As you can see, it is very, very little annually. So yeah. But we have 5 strong buy, 1 buy, 1 hold, and 1 sell. I think it's because most people think this might be a bigger player in the future regarding maybe things on the moon and on Mars. But it is highly, highly speculative because I don't really know what industry on the moon and Mars would be great. Of course, this would most likely just be a purely based company that would get contracts from the United States government, primarily regarding the moon. Of course, they also work with private companies, but I can't really see any reason people would like to go on the moon. Maybe in the future there will be mining on the moon, who knows? I won't speculate on that, but that is the only thing I can even imagine is going to happen. So very speculative. I think it's a interesting stock. It's a fun stock to have in your portfolio, but this is not the one that is going to make you a millionaire over the years. This is just a bet on moon industries being a bit more, how can you say, a bit more commercial in the future. So yeah, quite interesting company at the moment. Now, if you did like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe and comment any other companies you want me to take a look at. Thanks for watching.